So good evening, everybody. At this time, I would like to welcome Branch Manager Heather McLean-LaPlante to the stage to lead us in singing our national anthem to start the program this evening.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
So to begin our evening, we're going to show a short video, Making Money Make a Difference.
The year has been harder than most for Southern Albertans. It's difficult to not worry about bill or mortgage payments. We want to give back in a way that lets our members focus on what the holidays are all about. Family and friends.
We want to give back in a meaningful way that really makes a difference in our community.
Making a positive impact for our members
Helping people and acting local
and giving back
is in our DNA.
it's what makes a credit union,
So special.
and it sure helps to make the holiday season feel a little warmer.
It's the best time of the year to be making money make a difference.
So part of our mission is to make money make a difference.
And today, I will be putting $1,000 towards your President's Choice.
We would like to pay your December and your January loan payment.
And this year we've decided that we're going to pay your rent for you.
And we want to make a difference for you. We want to pay your rent for $750.
We would like to today help pay some bills.
Gee whiz, how you got me ready?
And we would like to pay a holiday bill for you.
We want to put $500 towards your bills.
And we'll pay
We
are going to pay $750 towards a bill of your choice.
We're going to put $500 on your MasterCard.
We're going to pay your mortgage payment.
We would like to make your December mortgage payment.
We would like to make a car payment for you.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
We want to put $500 either towards your bills or towards your mortgage.
$400 to your dentist bill.
We actually want to pay one of your bills today.
Your $733.13 payment.
We're going to pay your rent for December, and we're going to pay your last loan payment.
We're going to pay your bills for you today. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. We want to pay your bills.
Really?
Merry Christmas. We're going to pay your bills for you.
So we're going to make that payment for you today.
Are
so
you?
You don't have to worry about it.
Oh my goodness.
So we have $600 for you.
Yeah, we do.
Really?
Yes.
I am just blown away.
Are you serious? Are you joking? Are you serious?
No.
Are you kidding
Yes.
me? Get out! Not joking. Oh my god.
Am I listening to it right?
How about the next mortgage? I'm in another world or something. Oh, you guys. Oh. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's so kind, you guys. Thank you so much.
God, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my God, Jordan. Somebody give me a hug.
Yeah.
Take all the credit.
Well, they thanked us for being a member and presented us with a couple of payments, one our card payment, another
Nice.
one on a credit card for us.
What does that mean to you?
Lots.
Means a whole lot. Like, can actually get some gifts for our kids this year.
It's a tough year for a lot of Albertans, right? So those sorts of things really help out.
Very much so.
I've been trying to find work and it's hard, and you say I'm delivering garbage and I'm a B pressure welder, so it tells you what the economy's like now. So
We're glad to be part of your holiday season. We're glad to have you as members.
appreciate it very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for being a member.
Happy holidays, everyone.
From all of us here at Connect First Credit Union.
This meeting is now called to order. Good evening, members and guests. My name is Andrew Eberl, Chair of the Connect First Credit Union Board of Directors, and I welcome you to our annual general meeting. I would like to welcome our special guests and credit union system representatives as well. A quorum for our annual general meeting consists of 50 registered members. Registration shows that we have 242 members and 30 guests in attendance. There's a quorum of members, so we are good to proceed. To begin the evening, we would like to share another brief video highlighting Connect First Credit Union's accomplishments in 2016. The rules of order for our meeting are included in the member information package. There will be a question and answer period later in the meeting. Questions are welcome from the floor and via our social media sites. To address the chair, you must be a member. You must use the aisle mics and clearly state your name and branch. And please restrict questions posed during the meeting to the business affairs of Connect First. Due to privacy considerations, we aren't able to answer questions about your personal financial affairs. And for anyone on Twitter tonight, feel free to use our hashtag CFCUAGM when commenting about the AGM. And in your member information package, you'll also find an orange voting card. So we ask you to please tear that out and use that for when voting on motions. And it will be a lot easier for us to see here from the front. At this point in time, I'd like to have a motion to approve the rules of order. So may I have a mover and a seconder approach one of the aisle mics? Again, please clearly state your name and branch name. Sorry, your mic isn't on yet. Can you try it again? It's still not working. There we go.
Linda Claassen, branch 110, and I move to approve the rules of order.
Thank you. And a seconder?
Jolene Kent, branch 105, and I second the motion to approve the rules of order.
Okay, thank you. So we have a mover and seconder to approve the rules of order. All in favor? Okay. Any opposed? The motion is carried. Inside your information package, you'll find the agenda for tonight's AGM. And so we need a motion to approve the agenda as presented. May I have a motion, a mover and a seconder approach the aisle mics?
Norm Christensen, branch 114. I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you. And a seconder?
Jim Chisholm, branch 282. I second it.
Thank you. So the motion again is to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Motion is carried. I would now like to introduce you to your board of directors. The board table officers are, first, myself as chair, Stella Thompson as vice chair, Carrie Tobert as secretary. Our directors, Bob Petrick, Bob Shearer, Courtney Hare, Doug Van Spronsen, Kevin Van Konet, Michelle Canton, Ron Gibson, and Sarah Arthurs. And unfortunately, Barry Fullerton was unable to be with us tonight. I'd also like to welcome Pat Knoll as our parliamentarian this evening. Pat is a professional registered parliamentarian, so he's going to be here to keep me on track. Also on stage with us is Paul Kelly, our Chief Executive Officer. And again, I'd just like to mention that it's great to see the numerous members of the cooperative system, including key suppliers, community and strategic partners. And we thank you all for attending tonight. In your member information package, you'll also find the minutes from last year's AGM that was held on March 16th, 2016. So are there any omissions to the minutes? I'm sure you've had lots of time to read them. So we do need an approval, a motion to approve the minutes from March 16, 2016. May I have a mover and a seconder, please?
Haider Hassan from branch 118, and I move to carry the minutes forward.
Thank you. And a seconder?
Ryan Andrews, 118. I second the motion.
Okay, thank you. So the motion again is to approve the minutes from last year's AGM. All in favor? Okay, thank you. Any opposed? Motion is carried. I would now like to briefly draw your attention to other information that you'll find in your package. A copy of our 2016 Management's Discussion and Analysis, and it includes our 2016 financial results and management's discussion and analysis of the same. Your package also includes a copy of the report from our auditors, KPMG, reports from our Audit and Finance, Nominations, and Risk Committees, and the board's accountability and remuneration reports are also included. At this point in time, I'd like to call on Doug Van Spronsen, Chair of our Nominations Committee, to bring our Director Election Results Report.
Thanks, Andrew. So my name is Doug Van Spronsen, and it's been my pleasure to chair the Nominations Committee for the past year. For those of you who don't know, the Nominations Committee is comprised of 4 board members whose terms do not expire in the current year. The members of this year's committee were myself, Sarah Arthurs, Courtney Hare, and Kevin Van Koonen. The purpose of the Nominations Committee is to recruit qualified cross-section of members based on specific abilities, competencies determined by the board to enable effective governance of the current and future direction of Connect First Credit Union, while providing oversight to the democratic process relating to the annual director elections. So this year, there were 4 spaces available on the board of directors due to director terms coming up to renewal. And as of our nominations deadline on November 30th at 5 p.m., we had received 30 applications to fill these spaces on the board. Due diligence was conducted to ensure that all of these candidates met the eligibility criteria according to both the Alberta Credit Union Act and the Connect First Credit Union's bylaws. And the candidates that did not meet that eligibility criteria were advised of their ineligibility. We then, as a nominations committee, followed a really structured interview process with all the board candidates. And basically, we wanted to learn more about the candidates, gather some consistent information about everyone, understand how the candidates met or did not meet the published recruitment skills and expertise. And then we used a very rigorous scoring and assessment process to maintain some objectivity and ensure that they recommended, through endorsement, qualified candidates to the membership. Our endorsement principles were used to identify nominees whose values, interests, and experience met the skills, expertise, or diversity required, and these people were labeled endorsed in all communications and materials by the Nominations Committee. We partnered with Avenue 4, which is one of the leading providers of voting software, to ensure a secure and simple way for all of our members to vote. And from January 16 through to March 10th, 2017, members were able to vote both in branch and online. And we were very pleased with the voter turnout this year. We had 1,063 votes, and I'm very pleased to announce that elected to the Connect First Credit Union's Board of Directors are the following people: Michelle Canton, Gail McLeod, Bob Shearer, and Stella Thompson. And this year, as part of our online voting, members were also able to choose a charitable organization to receive a donation as a result of their cast ballot. And so I'm also pleased to announce that 4-H Alberta will receive a $478 donation, and Accessible Housing will receive a $585 donation as a result of the director elections. So really happy about that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doug. And again, after every election, we need a motion to destroy the ballots. Even though they are electronic in nature, we still need to go through the proper process to make sure that all that information is destroyed. So I need a motion to destroy the ballots. If I could have a mover and a seconder, please.
Kyle Setter, Branch 102. I move to destroy the ballots.
Thank you. And a seconder?
Lindsay LaBerge, Branch 118. I second the motion.
Thank you. And again, the motion is to destroy the ballots. All in favor? Thank you. Any opposed? Motion is carried. So this evening we say farewell with heartfelt thanks to one board member, Barry Fullerton. Barry was elected to the Legacy Chinook Credit Union's Board of Directors in 2012. During his tenure, Barry has been on every board committee, chairing Connect First's nomination committee last year. Barry was part of the visionary board of directors that brought Chinook Financial and First Calgary Financial together to form Alberta's first regionally focused credit union. I appreciated Barry's desire to do what was right for our members, and I learned a lot from him during our time together. Unfortunately, Barry was unable to be with us tonight, but please join me in recognizing Barry's service to the Alberta Credit Union system and his valued contributions to Connect First Credit Union. Our board members' service to Connect First Credit Union takes time away from family and friends. And it's appropriate to take a moment to acknowledge and thank the families of all of my fellow board members. Barry's wife, Grace, unfortunately passed away in January. And I want to take this opportunity to recognize her unwavering support for the credit union and Barry during his tenure. I certainly will miss Grace's laughter at some of our social functions. So again, thank you to Barry and Grace. Now I will ask Stella Thompson, Chair of the Governance Committee, to come with our bylaw amendments.
Thank you, Andrew. Connect First Credit Union's bylaws were established as part of our amalgamation agreement and went into force on November 1st, 2015. Annually, the bylaws are reviewed. Excuse me. The intent of this review is to ensure the bylaws reflect the current legislation, enable Connect First Credit Union to manage effectively within the ever-changing financial world, and to ensure members have a set of bylaws that meet their needs as owners of the credit union. As a result of the current year's review, your board of directors has determined the following amendments are required. Article 3.1. Each year we post draft wording for bylaw amendments on our website for member feedback. Based on member feedback and to ensure clarity, the draft wording we posted for this article on our website has been slightly amended. We would like to put a limit on the maximum number of common shares that may be held by an individual member to 200,000. Common shares form an important part of our capital base. Individual members holding large amounts of common shares can put the credit union in a vulnerable position if they decide to sell them. And it may not be prudent for individual members to hold a significant proportion of their investments in common shares. The number of members that hold in excess of 200,000 Connect First Credit Union common shares is minimal. These members will be grandfathered, or grandmothered as I prefer, but going forward, members that have less than 200,000 common shares will not be permitted to exceed the maximum amount. Article 6.2. We would like to update Section E to reflect a more comprehensive and inclusive definition of a relative. Article 6.4. We would like to amend item B to reflect a director may be removed as part of an amalgamation agreement. This occurred as part of our amalgamation agreement in 2015, and we felt it was prudent for our bylaws to speak to this situation more effectively. We would also like to amend item G to be more prescriptive about our director attendance policy mandates and outcomes. Article 6.5. This update is wordsmithing in nature and is intended to clearly highlight when a director's term of office ends in each term. Article 6.13, this update is wordsmithing in nature, including that the board consults an independent advisor as part of the board remuneration reviews. With these presented, I will present the motion for approval. Motion 4, for approval of proposed amendments to the bylaws as presented.
So may I have a mover and a seconder approach the mics to make the recommended motion?
Jim Beal, Branch 282, and I would like to make a motion to approve the bylaw amendments as presented.
Sandy Cavernini, Branch 102. I'd second that motion.
Is there any discussion? Does anybody have any questions regarding any one of those amendments? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the motion then to approve the proposed amendments to the bylaws. All in favor? Thank you. Opposed, if any? Okay, thank you. The motion is carried. Again, I would like to thank you for joining us tonight. I'm pleased and proud to be standing before you as board chair. Being a director and board chair enables me to give back to an organization that has helped me and my family in many ways over the years. Tonight, I would like to share some details about the board's work in 2016, as well as some of the important changes we will be making in 2017 to ensure that our credit union remains strong and sustainable. With the merger of Chinook and First Calgary behind us, the board turned its attention to reviewing the governance framework of our credit union. Governance is simply a system of checks and balances that becomes the process that the board uses to look after your interests, both as an owner and as a customer. Our most important function is to, along with management, develop the strategy, and then to review, discuss, and ultimately approve management's operating plans. It's a process really of questioning, challenging, and guiding management in positive and constructive ways. The overriding objective in our work is to ensure that all of us, directors, executive, and staff, do the best job possible to achieve our mission of making money make a difference. A critical part of governance, therefore, is to ensure that we have a strong, independent board. Therefore, it is important to evaluate the board's performance. We conduct a comprehensive survey of directors each year to see how we are doing as a team overseeing the operation of our credit union. The survey covers areas such as board committee effectiveness. It looks at how we are doing monitoring management's performance, and the survey evaluates how well board members interact with each other. And I'm pleased to report that the board assessment in 2016 was favorable overall. We scored well in creating an open environment where directors are free to express their opinions and where those opinions are welcomed by others. Most of the board's work is done through committees. Each committee is comprised of a small group of directors chosen for their relevant expertise. And I'm pleased to report that the effectiveness of our board committees was one of the strongest areas in our survey. The survey also pointed out areas that need attention. And the most important of these is spending even more time discussing long-term business strategies and emerging market conditions that could affect the sustainability of our credit union. I can assure you that you have a very capable board working on your behalf. We do need to, however, improve the diversity on our board so that it better reflects the credit union's members and its communities. Diversity includes not only gender, race, and ethnicity, but also a diversity of skills, backgrounds, personalities, age, and experience. We need directors who share our credit union values and who can make decisions through the lens of our members and our communities. And with that in mind, we will establish a new board diversity policy in 2017. The goal is better discussion, greater diligence in decision-making, and ultimately, better operating performance and better value to our member owners. One of the important checks and balances in our governance framework is to make sure that you, our member owners, have a voice and that your voice is heard. Your feedback does help our organization improve and grow. The landscape of the financial services sector is ever-changing, and we need to respond to those changes. For example, the Credit Union Act of Alberta dictates how and where all credit unions do business. By the way, those Alberta credit unions employ 3,300 Albertans full-time, and they serve more than 620,000 members through branches all across the province. The Credit Union Act, however, has not been substantially updated for 25 years. Meanwhile, the financial services sector has experienced enormous change with new competitors and extremely low interest rate environments and constant emerging technology. Fortunately, the Alberta government has finally amended the Act, and this will improve the competitiveness of Alberta's credit unions. The amended Act opens a number of doors for us. For example, we now have expanded insurance powers, and with these changes to the Act, we are currently examining how we can better service our members with their insurance needs. Change, whether regulatory, economic, or competitive, presents opportunity and risk. And with that in mind, the directors annually review our long-term strategy to make sure that Connect First is keeping pace with that change. Or better still, setting the pace of change in our industry. To wrap up, let me just say that our vision of building a credit union that is both large and local has never been more relevant. In the short time since the formation of Connect First Credit Union, we have demonstrated to our members that we have the resources to build a vibrant, member-focused organization. The board is more committed than ever to charting the course for realizing that vision. I believe that we have the resources to take full advantage of an exciting world of possibilities for our credit union. And for that, our executive and staff teams deserve special thanks. They have helped us deliver real value and build strong relationships with members in two distinct regions. To my fellow directors, Thank you for your passion, dedication, and unwavering commitment to always do what's right for our members. And on behalf of my fellow directors, I thank you, our members, for your confidence and your support. Thank you. At this time, I invite CEO Paul Kelly to bring his report.
First of all, I want to thank everyone being here tonight instead of watching our Calgary Flames win their 11th game in a row, which would be a record. But I'm confident we'll be able to watch those Flames well into the month of June, so we'll have plenty of opportunity to cheer our team on. Thank you, Andrew. So good evening, fellow members, fellow employees, and invited guests. Today actually marks the 22nd year I've had the privilege of addressing our membership at the AGM. So tonight I'd like to share some financial highlights of a very successful 2016 fiscal year. Then I'd like to give the membership an overview of some of the emerging trends that are happening in the world of banking and how they will impact your credit union. There are some very rapid and disruptive changes happening, and your credit union is committed to remaining current, relevant, and provide our members access and service when and where they want it. With over 5% net increase in loans to members, Connect First had one of the highest growth rates of any credit union in Alberta. And these results were achieved despite some very soft economic conditions in Calgary and southern Alberta in 2016. And despite record low interest rates, we achieved deposit growth of $90 million or 2.4%. Now, we observed many members, especially our small business members, withdrawing funds from their accounts for operating and living expenses, a reflection of the tough economic times. While down from 2015, net income was still solid at over $16 million. The primary variances were in loan loss provisions and unrealized losses on interest rate swaps. These unrealized losses will reverse upon maturity in 2018 and 19. Now, it's important to point out that in these tough economic times, expenses were essentially flat and our personnel costs actually decreased. Member equity is a critically important component of the safety and soundness of your credit union. At Connect First, we maintain a very conservative approach to capital and always ensure we have ample reserves to weather any economic storm. Given these uncertain times, our focus in 2016 was to increase our capital base even more, reflected in the 17% increase from 2015. And finally, as a member-owned credit union, we share our success with you, our members, through the payment of share dividends. Members received $9.9 million last year, bringing the total to $77 million paid over the past 10 years. I'd now like to turn to changes in our industry and how your credit union is responding. In all aspects of our lives, technology is changing how we live and how we work. And technology is also changing and disrupting every aspect of the financial services business. Not that long ago, the neighborhood branch was the focal point, where people did their banking. But over the past few years, the computer and now the cell phone is how more and more Canadians are doing routine banking. Virtually all of the most common transactions that people do can now be done on a cell phone, including depositing a check using your phone camera. So what will be the impact to the branch? We see the role of the branch changing. Members will still need solid, personalized financial advice from trusted expert advisors. So we see a shift in the role of the branch to be more and more advice-based. And the look and feel of the branch will also change. Now, credit unions have always been innovative. Your credit union was the first in Alberta to launch check imaging as well as Deposit Anywhere a few years ago. And credit unions across Canada are beginning to tailor the branch experience to the specific needs of members in that neighborhood. For example, Blue Shore, which is a credit union in the highly affluent North Vancouver region, has introduced what they call financial spas, complete with hot towel service to reflect the West Coast experience of their members. Meanwhile, Innovation Credit Union, based in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, has rolled out mobile advice centers, essentially a branch in a motorhome, to serve communities where a traditional branch is no longer viable. So we continually monitor these trends to ensure that we create the right, convenient experience for our members and how they choose to do their banking. Another significant wave of change affecting the credit unions in Canada is consolidation and partnerships. The number of credit unions in Canada is shrinking. There are about 300 credit unions in Canada today, which is less than half the number from a decade ago. Alberta had 86 credit unions in the year 2000. Now there's around 20. And the reason is simple. Banking is becoming very complex, the cost of regulation is increasing, and scale is very important to be able to invest in technology. Now, your credit union is in a very good position to thrive and grow in this environment. With a strong capital base and $5 billion in assets under administration, we are the 10th largest credit union in Canada. We also pool resources with the 15 largest credit unions with the sole purpose of developing new and innovative technology to make banking easier and better for all our members. At last year's AGM, we showcased our wearable payment wristbands. And this year, we'll be introducing mobile pay, using your smartphone to make merchant payments. And later, we'll launch Apple Pay. We also work together with this group on something called cybersecurity. This is an emerging risk for credit unions, banks, virtually every company. We have invested considerable resources and focused effort to ensure member data is protected, and we remain vigilant and proactive, investing in new software, new processes to ensure any attacks are thwarted. Now, our mission is to make money make a difference, and I think the Christmas video we showed at the beginning exemplifies that mission more than any words can. We live and operate by 4 key values: think big, act local, take charge, and make it easy. And our Vision 2025 is to be Alberta's neighborhood credit union. We believe our unique operating model with our Chinook and First Calgary regions is scalable, and we're very excited about the future. Our 2 presidents will be up next to highlight the tremendous accomplishments in our 2 regions over the past year. Externally, we have been recognized as a 12-year platinum winner of Canada's best managed companies, as well as one of Alberta's top employers. But as a member-owned company, it is the support of individual members, our small business members, that will allow us to innovate and thrive in the next 80 years of our history. The most common feedback I get from members, and it's often, is how wonderful our staff are. Now, you saw glimpses of that in the videos. Doing what is right by our members is how our team is guided every day. Times have been pretty tough over the past few years, and I'm very proud of how our staff have proactively worked with our members for their financial well-being. Please join me in thanking the team. And lastly, I'm going to thank my 12 bosses, your board of directors. Their stewardship, their focus on values, and ensuring we remain a member-first credit union has been a big part of our success. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. At this time, I would like to invite Scott Haddon, President of Chinook, and after Scott, Shelley Vandenberg, President of First Calgary, to come with their reports.
My name is Pat Major, and I am a member of the Strathmore Chinook branch. I've been a member of this branch for over 30 years. The credit union for me is about community, and I see that very strongly in this particular branch. They support our community, they support our individuals with disabilities, and individuals themselves. I have what's called essential hand tumors, and I've had to have a treatment in Toronto, and financially that has been incredibly hard on me. And at Christmas time, the credit union supported me financially by helping me with my bills for the month of December. And that was huge for me, huge. When I step into the branch, it feels like family. They know my name, they're asking about me and things that I'm going through and are genuinely interested. Thank you to the credit union for everything they've done for me over the years. It's been huge, and I appreciate it.
Good evening. Thank you, Paul and Andrew. Good evening, and thank you for joining us as we celebrate our success from 2016. If I had to summarize my speech for you, I would just tell you that I'm very proud. Through our unique operating model, our members had expanded access to new technology to make their banking lives easier this year. Top of mind for me is our members' use of the Deposit Anywhere functionality. In the third quarter of 2016, 19% of our deposits were done through Deposit Anywhere, rising to 22% in the fourth quarter. I was astounded by the quick uptake within Chinook Financial with this technology. Another win was the upgrade to the Member Direct online banking. This service makes it easy for our business members to use online banking, and again, our corporate and agricultural members are quickly embracing this improved technology. Another very exciting service introduced in 2016 to Chinook Financial was the Contact Center, more recently renamed the Member Care Center. Hours of operations are Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. This is very exciting for Chinook Financial and a game changer for our members. This past year, we launched a new way to facilitate community donations through our branches. As a locally owned credit union, we have the unique opportunity to make a genuine and lasting contribution to the financial success of our local communities. The Act Local program supports our grassroots community initiatives while still focusing our efforts to support the financial goals and dreams of our communities. Through the Act Local program, Chinook Financial help maintain spaces in our communities where people can access skills and resources necessary for communities to thrive, supporting libraries in Brooks, Strathmore, Hanna, and Bazzano. Contributed to the financial knowledge of our communities through initiatives such as farm succession planning nights and supporting elder abuse response committees. Supported projects that continue to make our communities beautiful, vibrant, and connected, like Communities in Bloom, Atlas Coal Mine, and of course, Spock Days in the community of Vulcan. I'm proud of the work our branches started in 2016 to incorporate the Act Local program in their communities. Chinook has a long history of being a strong community contributor, a true local organization. With our renewed community focus, we will continue to build strong local economies and proud communities. With agriculture being the backbone of our communities, we are so pleased and proud that we get to be part of the farming lifestyle, which is foundational to the province of Alberta and Chinook Financial. I'm also proud of how many members and businesses from our communities do business with us. We think that whenever possible, we should do business with them as well. As always, my amazing Chinook team proudly volunteered their time to help make community events a success and to help those in need in difficult times. I'm always inspired by their willingness to help their neighbors out wherever they can. Beyond volunteering, we were able to invest almost $200,000 into our communities, such as grassroots organizations such as 4-H clubs and Habitat for Humanity, which is doing great work in southern Alberta. Very proud to be part of a company that makes this kind of contribution to the communities they serve. Very excited to introduce to the members of our credit union that we now have a Connect First Credit Union Young Leaders Group. We've finished the first year and are excited to start the second year with this young, dynamic group. The young leaders have the opportunity to learn and grow their knowledge base and careers through mentoring, education, and exposure to all areas of our company. They also are known to provide a shot of energy and spirits at events throughout the organization. What's ahead in 2017? New member cards that reflect your contemporary new credit union, redesigned website to make getting the information you need and accessing your account easier, ability to make payments using your mobile phone, expansion into the Medicine Hat marketplace. The prospect of growing in Medicine Hat is very exciting for Chinook, and we're committed to making it a success. Very special thank you to the members of Chinook Financial for your continued support and trust. Also to our amazing team at Chinook that does their best for our members every day. On behalf of myself and the entire team, thank you for a very successful 2016. Shelley Vandenberg would be next.
My name is Baron Faber. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BaseBus. I've been a personal member of First Calgary for 12 years and a business member for 6 years. I work with an amazing team of people. We create events and we bring ideas to life through those events. We have a transportation side to our business where we have a 35-foot passenger bus that's been completely customized, and we move people around with the bus, and we also curate events from beginning to end. We're a very local, community-based organization ourselves. We work with tons of local artists and performers and musicians, and together, when we work together, we all grow together. We create a vision and bring it to life. I've been with a credit union my entire life. I grew up in Lloydminster and was with the credit union there. When I moved to Calgary, I moved to First Calgary. The biggest difference between a credit union and a bank is the personal one-on-one connection and just the small neighborhood feel. Every time I go into the bank, the teller, they know my name. A banking partner should be able to listen to us, understand our story, know where we come from and where we want to go. As BaseBus, we are a very outside-of-the-box business. When we explain ourselves in a few lines, it's not the typical business, so it's important to have a relationship where you can really understand what we're doing and where we're going.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a great video. It's moments like that, hearing from our members who are happy with what we're doing for them, we're helping them grow their business, and it gives me great satisfaction, not only with my team and knowing that we are, again, really helping our members in good and bad times. So thank you to the member for that moment. It really warms my heart. 2016 was good financially for our credit union and for our member owners, as our CEO has just highlighted. But the past year has been extremely challenging for Calgarians, and likely for many of you in this room or someone that you know. Calgary has faced the worst economic downturn in history, from double-digit unemployment, falling housing prices, and over 25% vacancy in downtown Calgary. These are tough times for Calgarians. A challenge of the current economy is that many people who struggle, even in good economic times, are falling farther behind. And some of our members are finding it very tough to make ends meet. Every day, First Calgary Financial team members met members who were hit hard financially and emotionally by these difficult times. But we talked, we listened, and we worked together to find a good solution to help our members take charge and get back to living their lives and running their businesses. We also reached across our communities to make a difference. We showed up in places that people did not expect to see us. We bought people dinner, we bought people a beer, and we bought tickets to a game. We started conversations about why banking locally and shopping locally makes so much sense in today's economy and to support our local communities. We also stepped in to help people avoid making poor choices about money. Payday loans, for example, are a terrible trap and are an incredibly difficult cycle to break free from. That's why we launched our Cash Crunch loan this year. For people facing unexpected expenses, Alberta's working poor, a Cash Crunch loan helps people get back on track. It's easy and it's affordable, And more importantly, it helps people from getting out of the spiraling debt cycle that they can have a very difficult time getting out of. I'm very proud to say that our cash crunch loan led to new provincial legislation to curtail the predatory lending practices of payday lenders in Alberta. You'll hear more about this remarkable success story in just a minute. But even in tough times, we found ways to make banking easier for the people working hard to keep Calgary's economic engine running, our business and our commercial banking members. We expanded our focus on entrepreneurs, small and medium-sized business by creating new dedicated roles in our retail branches to help grow your business. We expanded our commercial banking department, and we assembled a great team of experienced bankers that will focus on mid-market companies in Calgary, and also a full complement of products and services. And we were the first in Alberta, and in Canada for that matter, to successfully launch commercial remote deposit capture. This service allows our business members to securely scan their checks for deposit at their business, so they don't need to come into the branch. That saves you time and money. We really like to thank Calgary Food Bank and Danberg Floorings for being such great pilot partners. You've just heard our CEO talking about branches and the broad changes occurring within the financial services industry. I'm sorry to say that we will be closing our Brentwood branch effective May the 31st. I personally have never closed a branch before, so this is very difficult news for me to deliver. But our landlord is building a new high-rise where our existing Brentwood branch is located, and we were unable to find a suitable location nearby to relocate to. Fortunately, however, our Brentwood branch members will be able to get the great same service at any one of our branch locations, but especially 5 minutes away from our Dalhousie branch location starting June the 1st. In 2017, we will continue to help Calgarians like we always have for the past 80 years. We'll be carefully listening to you to understand what you need, what you want, and how you want it. It's been our privilege to help Calgary communities and Calgarians remain strong, and we thank you for the trust that you've placed within us. We do not take that lightly. Every day, I am fortunate to be inspired by and learn from the great team at First Calgary Financial. I want to take this opportunity to thank my hardworking team for living our cultural values every single day. Thank you.
So we're just to go into our question and answer period. But before we do, I will invite Paul to introduce his executive leadership team.
Thanks, Andrew. You heard from a couple of them. We have with us Sandy Kay, who's our Senior Vice President, Finance and Administration. We have Catherine Boynton, who's our Senior Vice President, Information Technology. Jackie Barber, Senior Vice President, Shared Services. You've already met Shelley Vandenberg, President of First Calgary Financial. Keith Richard from our Chief Risk Officer. And again, Scott Haddon, you also met, who's the President of Chinook Financial.
So this next little while has been set aside for answering your questions. The question and answer period will abide by the rules set out in our Rules of Order, found in the member package. And again, for privacy reasons, we ask that you save any questions about your personal affairs. The purpose of the question and answer session is to respond to questions about Connect First Credit Union's business practices, results, and strategic direction. So again, I ask you to come to the mic so that we can hear if you have any questions. And if you can send something via one of our technology links, you're more than welcome to as well, and we will get the question answered for you.
My name is Bill Harper. I'm with Branch 106. I'm just perusing the performance targets and results published in your report here. And specifically, I'm looking at the deposit growth. As it's pointed out in the report here, the deposit growth target for 2016 was $197 million, whereas the actual was $90 million, a deficiency of $107 million. Now I notice, which I can understand due to the downturn in the economy, what I can't understand is that your target growth for 2017 is 3 times the actual deposits for 2015, or 2016, I'm sorry. So in other words, your 2017 target for deposit growth is $289 million versus the $90 million which you completed in the past fiscal year. I wonder if you could comment on how you plan to triple the deposit growth over the next fiscal year.
Yeah, great question. So one of the things I mentioned we experienced in 2016, frankly, it was unprecedented for our credit union. We lost a lot of deposit dollars, and we tracked it carefully, and our concern was we were losing it to the competition, which we weren't. And particularly dramatic was in the business side, where a lot of our members were withdrawing funds for operations, just basically to pay their bills. We also saw that on the consumer side, in both divisions. It was quite unprecedented for us. That decline in those demand deposits was significant. When we put our plan together for 2017, we had forecast a stabilizing economy, a return of those funds being built up. It is an aggressive target. We've always maintained we have aggressive targets, but it's also a function we believe that the economy in Calgary and in southern Alberta has stabilized, and we anticipate those funds coming back.
May I just make one comment on that? If you do not reach that target of $289 million in deposits, how will that affect your operations?
Yeah, again, from a capital perspective and a bottom line perspective, we match our deposits off with our loans. So there will be a slight decrease in terms of our forecast net income for the year. Having said that, though, we've just completed our results for our first quarter, and we're in fact above budget in terms of net income. We've really had a focus on expense management this year. So part of what we do as a team is where we're not hitting our revenue targets in terms of loan deposit growth, we make that up in terms of managing expenses. So at the end of quarter one, if you look at our net income forecast for the year, we're actually well above that, and we anticipate that would continue through the end of the year.
Any more questions?
I'm happy to be a member, and the reason I'm a member is because I used to go to the Red and White Club, and I was impressed with all the charity work is done as you did tonight. You mentioned I couldn't talk personal business, but what I'd like to know is what is the relationship between a client, myself, and a financial advisor and Q-Trade? I was really dumbfounded what happened to me, and seeing as I can't get personal about it, I'd like to talk to one or two of the members of the board, if possible, later after the meeting. The other matter I have is, why doesn't the credit union set up an estates service? You have one that you refer to in Saskatchewan, but I'm an eyeball person. I talk to people personally. So I'd like to see an estate, some sort of estate program set up, if possible. And then the third thing I'd like to ask is, what is the relationship with Calgary Credit Union, and FinTrack.
Sorry, and?
FinTrack.
FinTrack, sure. Yeah, let me tackle that one first. So FinTrack is a federal agency, organization, and essentially they've been put in place post 9/11 to monitor terrorist financing, money laundering. So they're essentially a regulator for our credit union. We have to follow a number of rules in terms of reporting suspicious transactions, large cash transactions, to ensure our credit union, like all banks, frankly all banks around the world, to ensure that we don't finance inadvertently any type of financing that would be tied to terrorism, money laundering. That's where our relationship with FinTrack. In terms of our relationship with our financial advisors, Q-Trade or Credential, there's certain licenses that have to be held that can't be held by a credit union, that have to be held by a third party. So we partner with both Credential and Q-Trade to offer those services to a member that we as a credit union alone can't do that. It's also, those are two national organizations. They have a lot of scope, a lot of scale. They have the ability to create products and services that, again, we as an individual credit union couldn't do that. That's the rationale behind having partnerships with those two financial organizations.
I just have one further question. Again, Bill Harper from Branch 106. A comment was made earlier that you are undergoing negotiations with Medicine Hat to take them under the fold of the Connect Credit Union, I understand. So that was one. I wonder if someone would care to comment further on that. The second comment I have to make, not a question, comment, is that a very nice presentation was made regarding Chinook Credit, the area encompassed by Chinook Credit Union, which I understand are the rural areas of Vulcan and Strathmore, etc. And it seems that quite a bit of your business is in that area. Has there ever been consideration to have holding the annual general meeting at one of these other locations to maybe make them feel more part of the original First Calgary, as I refer to?
Right. Yeah. Let me touch on Medicine Hat. We, and again, our Chinook region expands to the east side to Brooks. And over the many years that Chinook has been in operation, we've developed business membership relationships that move towards the Saskatchewan border, towards Medicine Hat. So we already have a fairly significant book of business memberships. It's primarily in the agricultural area and in terms of agriculture, small business, not a retail presence. So what we want to do, because again, we're growing our membership base there from the business and ag community, we felt it was important to have more of a physical presence there. So our plan is not to put a retail branch there. We're just going to house an office and make sure that we have people on the ground in Medicine Hat to serve better those people that are already dealing with us and hopefully expand our business. And in effect, we want to make sure our Chinook region expands to the end of the Alberta border. Okay. Sure. The question is, will Connect First expand and open more branches in Calgary? If I could answer that, sir? Yeah, could you just hold on, sir? We've got to answer the questions that came online. Thank you. So first question is, will Connect First expand and open more branches in Calgary? So my earlier comments about what's happening to the banking industry in Canada, the financial services in Canada, there's certainly not a trend to more branches. But my comments earlier, what I talked about was having a different role for the branches. Again, more and more people are using their cell phone, their home computer to do the kind of common banking transactions, to deposit a check, to transfer money. We're simply seeing, and most financial institutions are seeing, fewer and fewer people coming to the branch to do those type of transactions over the counter. But there still needs to be a place for a physical location for our members to come to when they want to talk to one of our staff about things like their mortgages coming due. How do I save for my children's education? How about retirement? Those conversations have to happen face to face. So that's the future role of the branch. I see the branches becoming smaller in terms of footprint. We need less space to have those transactions and more of an atmosphere where it's better, more conducive to having those type of conversations. In terms of absolute number of branches, I don't see us growing. other than we may have smaller, more specific kiosk-type locations. But by and large, I think the trend isn't, in fact, to have more branches, is to have the branches change and alter how they look and feel and what happens within the branch to make sure that we're catering to the needs of our members, which again is becoming more and more. Give us some advice, give us some financial knowledge so we can use that less and less to do the type of transactions that you can now do on your phone, on your computer. And I have one more question online. What new innovations and technology is First Calgary currently developing? I mentioned earlier, we are a part of a group of 15 credit unions across Canada, the largest 15 credit unions in Canada. And we formed a group about 3 years ago. The sole purpose of that group is to create new technology. A great example is Deposit Anywhere, which is the ability to deposit a check using your smartphone, using your camera. We were the first financial institutions in Canada to launch that. We were ahead of the banks. We're currently working on something called Mobile Pay, which again would be to use your phone to go to a merchant terminal instead of using a card or using cash, in effect to use your phone to pay the transaction there. We're looking at Mobile Pay. There's a number of new technologies that were part of this group. Again, we can collectively put all our resources together. Frankly, we're too small as a credit union. All 15 of us are too small as a credit union. When we come together as 15 large credit unions, we have the ability to pool those resources. The future of banking is technology, and we have to be part of that, and that's the reason we're doing it on a pool basis with these other 15 credit unions.
So is there anyone else that has any questions? Okay, excuse me, sir. I believe you've asked a question, and there's a lady coming from the back who hasn't had a chance yet. We will get to you after everyone else has had a chance. Thank you.
I noticed that the bylaw changes were not in our package so that we could read them. And what was put on the board was difficult to read, and one of the slides was only up there for 1 second. And I think something as important as bylaws should have been in our package. I went online and I found what we voted for. And point 613, the board of directors shall set remuneration for directors and non-employee officers from time to time, and in doing so may utilize an independent professional advisor to provide guidance on appropriate compensation levels. Now, I don't know how many people would have voted for this if they'd have read it. I just felt it was rushed, and I want to know if you're going to do something better next year to ensure any bylaw changes can be read at the meeting.
Yeah, thank you very much for your comments, and they will be duly noted. And we will certainly make every effort to improve on our process, so thank you. Anybody else?
Who hasn't asked a question yet?
Okay, sir, you can ask your second question if you like, and then our...
It's referring to the estate question that I asked about. Nobody addressed it. Maybe some of the board members could address it. And what I would like to see is maybe you can have the estate meeting on your agenda one time of the meetings, because I'd like to have an answer of what can be done. I have no family. I have nobody. And what do? I know what I want to do. So I'd like to be able to get some feedback from somebody through this organization. But Saskatchewan doesn't work for me.
Okay, yes, I will make sure that your concerns are addressed. Okay, with that, I think our question and answer period is going to conclude. As I see no one standing there at the mic. At this point in time, we have one more short video, our special community video to share with you.
Achieving true impact requires partnership. It means understanding each other and our respective needs at a deeper level. Actively seeking out partnerships that make great collaborative sense. Taking the time to explore the strengths we each bring to the table. honing in on the areas where together we become more, where together there's enormous potential.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a student at Sir Winston Churchill High School, and I'm currently participating in the Learn and Earn Scholarship.
She's been working with us for approximately 5 to 6 months now. And with the program, she comes every month and we review products such as RSPs, investment, mortgages, and anything that she can learn to better herself financially in the future.
What I've learned through the Learn and Earn experience, or the scholarship experience, is that I know very little about any sort of financial management to start out with.
We've actually had her work with all the staff, and every staff member, every personal banker has said she's been fantastic. She takes notes and actually asks questions that we have to even think about sometimes to respond. So it's been a wonderful experience for myself, the staff, and for Emily also.
My plans for next year are to study microbiology and immunology at the University of British Columbia.
She could do whatever she wants, and us being a part of it is a really amazing experience, and that we can actually be a small part of that future is really exciting.
4-H provides opportunities for kids to learn valuable lifelong skills, such as leadership, entrepreneurial skills, and community service. Things we believe build proud and connected communities. The clubs give participants opportunities to grow and thrive that they just can't get anywhere else. It's vital to the future of agriculture in Alberta to set these kids up for success. Developing these partnerships reinforce what we're all working to achieve, to give the kids the tools and skills needed to make a better Alberta.
First Calgary's partnership with Momentum has been transformative for how we see our role in working with the underbanked. We reduced barriers to banking and provided increased access to our banking products and services.
My name is Phil Vijay. I'm a representative that's part of Chinook Wealth Management. Knowledge and preparation is key to long-term success, and we have the ability to bring practical, personal, and business experience to these students in a way that gets them thinking about the future in the new way. Watching them walk around with a newfound confidence, curiosity, and critical thinking skills is invigorating. Knowing now that they're thinking differently about setting up themselves to pay for school, a trip during their gap year, and even their first home is meaningful.
For Calgarians with disabilities, homelessness is a real threat. An estimated 7% of Calgarians live with limited mobility, yet fewer than 1% of homes in Calgary are accessible. Partnering with Accessible Housing and their RAD renovations team gets people safely living in properly equipped homes fast. In return, we have a loyal member making true positive impact in Calgary.
In this particular home, we did 2 mini projects. So we did what's called a washroom to wet room conversion. So first of all, we widened the door so that the individual in a wheelchair can get through the doorway more easily. We installed new sinks so that someone can get their legs underneath the sink, and created a wet room situation where there's no longer a bathtub that someone has to drag their legs over, but they can rather just wheel right into the shower space. And up front and outside, we installed a porch lift so that the individuals can get in and out of the house more easily with their wheelchair, and installed a deck as well.
Our future with accessible housing is bright. With 30 modification projects coming up in 2017, we're working on opportunities together to strengthen their financial future while building more opportunities for employee volunteer support on projects. Community is everyone's responsibility. Building lasting partnerships like these create the kind of impact that matters and lasts.
So before we get to the prizes, I really enjoyed the Member Perks Experience Alley at the beginning of the AGM. Thanks to all the employees and partners that came out to show our members what's available to them. So thank you again. So to all the attendees who took in all the displays, completed and submitted their member experience passport, were eligible for our Gifts That Grow prize. I would like to announce the 10 winners now. So please see Kawal, wave, Kawal, Trish, okay, Trish, sorry, my notes were wrong. Please see Trish after the AGM to claim your prize. So the 10 winners are Helen Schwarak, Jan Rakowski, Bruce Duncan, Deborah Raz, Celia Harper, Joan Wong, Jennifer Duncan, Ed Waskowski, Mark Sheehan, and Bernie Hartfelder. So that brings us to the end of our meeting, and so I would like to have a mover and a seconder approach the mics to adjourn our meeting.
Rob Siepert, Branch 102. I would like to move to adjourn the 2017 Connect First Annual General Meeting.
Thank you. Seconded.
Linda Clausen, Branch 110. I second the motion.
Thank you very much. All in favor? Thank you. Opposed? Even better, carried. So thank you again. Safe travels home, and good night.